Gloves? Check. Head cover? Check. Pinafore? Check. And I'm ready for action.
West Africa is known to be the biggest producers of cocoa. Now, when refined, cocoa can be used for consumption, such as chocolates. Ghana, Cote d'Ivoire are known to be the biggest countries that engage in exporting cocoa. What about Nigeria? Today on Zero to Lunch, I'll be talking to a co-founder of Loshes Chocolate. And we'll get to find out how they can turn these cocoa into chocolates. I'm Joe Hanson. Let's do this.
Our guest is Nigerian chocolatier, bringing proudly African bean-to-bar approach to chocolate making in Nigeria. Her name is Oluwafemi Oyedipe. She started a business from a basement over 7 years ago and has since grown the brand beyond what it was thought out to be.
So it's good to meet you and it's good to be here, but why did you choose chocolates out of every other business to venture into? Was it that you're a sweet tooth, or you felt, okay, I just love chocolates, let me do something concerning chocolates?
It stemmed more from value creation, to be honest. Before I started the business, I'd never seen a cocoa bean before. So it came from a position of wanting to add value to what we currently have available to us. And in so doing, when you add value, you're affecting a lot of lives, impacting a lot of other people's lives as well. So I think it came from that position of just wanting to add value, to be honest.
So we know that Africa, as it is known to be the biggest exporter and producer of cocoa. Ghana, Cote d'Ivoire. So where do you source your cocoa from?
Well, I don't have to go to neighboring states to source cocoa beans because we have so many states in Nigeria that actually produce cocoa beans. In Calabar, in Cross River produces cocoa, large scale. In the southwest of Nigeria as well, you find a lot of states producing this resource. It's a natural resource, we're blessed with it, so why not use our locally sourced material as opposed to going to other neighboring African countries to get it when we have it here.
Starting off this business could have been very challenging, if I can imagine. You've never seen a cocoa bean before.
Yeah.
Just take us through the thoughts. How did you conceptualize and say, this is what I want to do? I would really love to know the process. Probably you thought about the idea, you wrote it down, you all of a sudden woke up and said, okay, let me make a few calls. How did you start off?
So I remember it actually happened in 2015. At that time, I was still working, doing a 9 to 5. And I was actually in the States at that point. I was at a crossroad, whether to continue in a 9 to 5 or to do something that was more fulfilling because, and as a Nigerian, we are blessed with a lot of things in Nigeria, to be honest. I'd been baking, part-time hobby, part-time business, you know how it is.
Yeah.
And so I'd worked with chocolate a bit, and used it to, dress cakes and things like that, desserts, etc. But I'd never, thought of doing it in terms of being a chocolate maker that is producing from the natural resource, which is cocoa. So my husband and I, we started researching. We made a lot of phone calls. And trust me, at that point when we made phone calls, it was to find out a lot of things from people, even from foreigners that are doing business here, abroad, and almost, I never not sound too negative, but about 90% of people were like, no, like Nigerians don't eat chocolate. Africa is not known as a chocolate eating continent. So it was just no, you're gonna fail, it's not gonna work, and it was just no. But I think because I'm a Christian and whatever I do with a lot of conviction, And we're done research. We had seen that yes, a lot of people had failed in the past trying to start the business, or even after venturing into it, had failed. And not because they didn't have a great or brilliant idea, but perhaps maybe the way the environment is, the volatility of the environment, and so many other factors. Anyway, so but we were convinced. There was some sort of conviction that came, from wanting to do it, and so we began to research. I remember I got my first cocoa bean bag from a missionary, in Oruwa, in Oyo State, yes. So a female missionary, and we started exploring it. I started it from the business of my house. I cleared out the guest room, started, trying out different things. Oh, I remember the first batch of chocolates we made, it was nasty. And it was very grainy, and we were like, what is this? Is this chocolate? Or yeah, so a lot of, what I'm just trying to get at is that when you're starting, there will be a lot of hiccups, a lot of things that will discourage you, a lot of things that will tell you, even your loved ones will tell you no, because they are watching out for you, not because they don't mean well. Do you understand? But they're watching out for you. They're thinking, oh, why don't you do something that is more mainstream? And so that's how we started. And we started penciling down everything. The first year, we used it to send out samples to people. My colleagues back then were my lab rats.
Oh, okay.
So they would test the samples, they would give feedback, and I always wanted feedback. So I would say this again, highlight it, as an entrepreneur, you're going to something new, always be happy and willing to take feedback. Good, bad, it's feedback. Feedback is very important. It helps you grow, it helps you tweak. So we kept tweaking the product. We didn't get it. No. The first year was R&D, to be honest. And we didn't, yes, so we kept sending out products, even our packaging. People already critique the packaging. From immediately you hand it to them, because that time we just used like a nice fancy paper craft wrapping, and then we just did it in foil, and people were like, what is this? They were already judging it, like, what? Do you understand? But with that sort of feedback, we're able to know that, okay, this cannot work. Abroad, there were companies abroad using that sort of material, yes, and it was doing well. But here, we were like, what's this? Do you understand? So you need to understand your environment. Yes, your terrain. If you're going to do business in that terrain, you have to have you have to be intuitive. You have to listen more. You have to be willing every time to go back to the drawing board and see and walk back and learn. Do you understand? I didn't go, at that time in 2015, I had no formal training in chocolate making. So I learned on the internet. I read of experiential learning. So I was doing any mistake I make, I document it. So I know that even when I get bigger and I employ people, I know that if they do this, this is the outcome. Do you understand?
Hands-on.
Hands-on. Was very hands-on. And that's how we create the business.
I like what I'm hearing. Looking at the fact that you started this from your basement, yes, and you built it up to what it is today, yes, and you've told us the challenges that you also had to go through or encountered. How have you been able to manage your staff strength? Usually this is one of the major challenges startups go through. They look for the right type of people to employ, but sometimes it's hard to get. And even when they do, sometimes these people, after receiving the trainings, the time, the energy, they end up leaving. How have you been able to cope with this business of yours?
Honestly, I would say I've also experienced that that sort of thing. Since starting the business, I can't even remember how many people have come and gone. But I know that we always, as entrepreneurs, always highlight the ones that come and go, but there are also some that stay. So I like to celebrate the ones that stay. As I lament about the ones that go, the ones that stay, I celebrate them. I manage them. I do a lot of coaching as opposed to, I would say, training. So trainings are like one-time stuff, one-time events. Yes. But coaching, you're not only coaching on the job, for the job, you're also coaching the person's character, the individual. You're trying to make the person a better person overall. So that has been my approach. And also being able to be relatable. you know, you have some, we entrepreneurs, sometimes we get carried away with whatever we're doing, and then we become so unrelatable even to our staff. So you have to be relatable. You have to be able to understand that the individuals, they also have personal challenges, personal pains. Do you understand?
Interact, be close to them.
Yes,
Yeah.
interact, you know, and also still have that fine line of, okay, I'm still your boss, but it comes with, maybe it comes with also my training.
That's it.
I'm a human resource professional, so that also has added value to how I can manage. Yes, so there's a lot of, so I try to ensure that there's engagement, and I manage the psychological contract of the employee, because that is the key thing that drives the business, not the building or the furniture or whatever. Yeah.
Told many times that a chocolate factory business will not prevail in this region. Today, Loshes Chocolate is gaining recognition in prominent stores across Nigeria. This is largely due to the never say die entrepreneurship spirit and the need to add value locally when it comes to making world-class chocolate using Africa's abundant cocoa resources.
You want to take us through some of the chocolates that you produce here, and need I say this again, these are proudly made in Nigeria. Do you source any ingredients outside the country? Proudly made in Nigeria. What differentiates your chocolates from other chocolates?
Well, I would like to say my chocolates are healthy but yummy. So, meaning we're single origin, meaning we get the fat, which is the cocoa butter, and then we put it back when we make our chocolate recipes in our process. Yeah. So we're single origin, so we don't source fat or additives or preservatives. No, it's just, so if take for example this little guy here, 56% milk chocolate, means it contains 56% cocoa, milk, and sugar.
Sure. Oh, and sugar.
And then
Okay.
cocoa butter added to it.
Oh, I
Do you
see.
understand? Yeah.
I see. So this is the purple one.
Yes, that's the purple one.
Okay.
And then you've got this guy here, who is 40% as well of cocoa, and then milk and sugar. So no additives in our chocolates whatsoever. None. Yeah. And we don't source any ingredients outside Nigeria.
the
Yes.
country.
We use proudly Nigerian products.
Interesting. Which other one do we have?
We have the white chocolate.
Oh, the white. So I always wanted to ask, how do you get the white chocolate? Because it's cocoa, so it's...
Yeah. Well, it's just without cocoa mass. It's cocoa, but without the mass. So you're using pretty much cocoa butter, milk, and sugar.
I see. That gives us a white chocolate.
Yes, that gives you the white
Okay.
chocolate. And then we've got this guy here, 70% dark chocolate.
Ooh.
Yeah. So
So what makes it
very
70% dark?
But the 70%, like I said, tells you the cocoa content. Okay, so that means it contains 70% of cocoa. And our chocolates are couvertures, meaning we put in an additional amount of cocoa butter into our recipes.
Oh, I see.
Yes.
I see.
So
Is cocoa really good for human consumption?
what?
I'm asking for the benefit of our
It's
people.
a superfood. Okay, it's very good for your heart. It helps your blood pressure. It helps your mood. Do you understand?
Yes, I know about that
You
too.
know about that. So it's really good. It's also good for the brain in kids, for children that are growing, developing. Yeah.
Oh, that's
So
good.
it's a superfood actually.
Nice.
If everyone could, you know, inculcate cocoa, a bit of cocoa into their diet, either even as the nibs, you put it on your cereal, in your smoothies. Also, you drink cocoa, cocoa drinks. Yes,
That's good.
yes, very good. And dark chocolates, really, really good.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Let me also ask this. Looking at this business of yours, there's a lot you've put in already to get to this level. What are the next steps for you? What are you looking forward to have? Are you looking at investments? Are you looking at monies coming in so you could actually expand? And if you're going to expand at all, what are the plans?
Okay, so it's good you asked that question. Earlier on, early last year, I was looking at investment. Actually, early mid year, I was looking at investment, and COVID struck.
Happened, yeah.
And so I went back to the drawing board and I said, okay, yeah, no investments yet, but what else can we do? So I'm looking at, okay, how do I optimize my operations? How do I make my product even better?
Mm.
Do you understand? How
Yeah.
do I diversify the same products, and introduce it into the economy, into the market? So those are the things I'm looking at now. There's so many things happening, that I'm excited about.
Okay.
Which I cannot really say everything here.
Yeah, sure.
But the company is growing, which is giving me a lot of
Joy.
joy.
Why did you choose that name? Why didn't you go for something
Something
unique
more-
or something more?
Loshes Chocolate is unique now.
Oh, no, it is. Don't get me wrong. Maybe something more African, something
No,
more.
it's Oluwafemi. Loshes Chocolate. That's God did this chocolate. It's a Yoruba name.
Oluwa,
I
Loshe,
just removed the Oluwa and I
Olu,
put Loshes Chocolate.
Loshe. One more question before we take a look at the entire space and get to see what your back room looks like we call it in hospitality, back of office. Looking at this business, do you say, based on what you heard initially, that Africans do not consume chocolate? Has your perception changed about that? That
changed.
Africans do, and do they really consume? Do we really consume chocolate?
Well, comparing them to the Europeans, no. We're still growing. But I think the way we can actually change that narrative is to create more awareness. So the more people that are going into awareness with maybe tourism, that also would aid and also help the culture of eating chocolate. Because we have it as a natural resource, why not, enjoy it in its fullness, in its richness, and also empower the economy, grow the economy through it. Yeah, and also even, look for how to export it to other countries. So we have it here, so why not?
Talking of exporting, are you planning to export this?
Oh, definitely. Once the time is right.
Africa first or?
Yes, Africa and then internationally, yes, abroad.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right, so let's take a look at the back room right now.
Okay, Joe. Thank you.
So I'm here with the operations manager, Lawrence, for Loshes Chocolate. Lawrence, what are your day-to-day activities to ensure that the chocolates do come out nicely?
What we'll do is this. So right from the roasting, I make sure that the cocoa bean is being properly roasted under the exact minute, which is 53 minutes. So after that, during cracking, be any insect falling inside the grinder.
All right, you've mentioned this process and we're here in the factory itself. So let's walk with you while you put us through on these processes. You ready?
Yes.
All right, let's go.
I'm here to show you how we make chocolates. So Loshes Chocolate will go under 9 stages of making chocolate. So number 1, mostly when we get our cocoa from the farm, we go through the first stages, the bad beans from the good beans. So after classification, we go to the next stage, which is roasting. So this is the roasting machine. In here now we are roasting. So normally we roast for 52 minutes. And one of the reasons why we roast is to kill germs and also to bring out the flavor of the cocoa bean. The next stage is cracking and winnowing. So we open the door of the machine, then we'll pour in the roasted cocoa bean. Then we'll put it on. So as you can see, is cracking, so the nibs comes from here, while the horse goes through the back. After blending, so this is the refining machine. So we'll pour in blended nibs into the supply. Then when the nibs have grinded and it becomes liquor, we'll now take it to the press. After we have pressed the liquor into the liquids, so like here, this is Susanna. What we have in Susanna here is 40% milk chocolate made with the cocoa butter and also the cocoa liquor that we got from the nibs. In here we have 30% milk chocolate, also done with the cocoa butter and also the liquor and sugar and milk. This is SIBO. We use this SIBO mostly to assist Jubushola, because mostly what is in here is cocoa liquor and here too is cocoa liquor too. This SIBO helps this one to grind the liquor. So like in here, this is Sabrina. Sabrina, what is in Sabrina is 40% milk chocolate as well. So 40% milk chocolate is just a mixture of the cocoa liquor, the cocoa butter, the sugar, and milk. So in here too, what we have here is 40% milk as well. So this is Eliora. So in Eliora, we have 40% milk chocolate. It's the same process, the same cocoa liquor. After we have grinded the nibs, we pour it into the refining machine, which is Subusola here. It grinds for 7 days. Then when it becomes liquor, we'll take it to the press. From that press, we'll get our cocoa butter. Then we'll bring back the cocoa butter into the refining room. Then with that cocoa butter, we can be able to make so lot of chocolates.
Hello everyone, my name is Femi Oydeipe and I'm the CEO, co-founder of Loshes Chocolate, and I started from zero to launch.